28mm RPG, Slick Rick from Cash Crick. And I have here Spencer from the Dispenser Show.
Hey.
And today we are going to go over some how to use this crazy thing called the Fari.app. Let people don't know about this, so I'm going to get rid of our little overlay here. And just so you can see up in the corner, there we go. So the Fari.app, this is it's kind of a simple kind of tool, but it's useful. It's super useful, and we've been using it for our traveler games. So you come into here at Fari.app, Fari.app, and you go in and you can start working on your campaign, basically. So what I'm going to show you is some cool stuff that you can do with it. So it's a virtual tabletop with kind of less bells and whistles, but it's easy to customize. Okay, so originally they made this so that it's for it was made for a game called Fate, but they ended up switching it up. They ended up adding more dice and stuff. So instead of just rolling the 6-sided dice, it rolls like any types of dice that you wish. So let's open this thing up. So this is what you have here. It gives you a bunch of rundown of blah blah blah. But we're not going to go into there. We're doing our own thing. Here we go. My binder. So this thing up here. Let's see. I'll get my cursor there. My binder has all your tools and basically that you've created. So it'll have your characters, your scenes, and your card collections. You can put cards in here, so you can make up your own cards and throw it in here. So it's cool that way. Scenes will be stuff that you can pop up on the screen for your players. It could be a map. It can be it could be just pictures, whatever. We play Theater of the Mind, but we also include pictures with our show, so it kind of gives everybody a cohesive, mind,
keeps them in the mindset.
Yeah, so you know exactly what you're seeing, and then we carry on. The characters, like as you start building your character sheets and your characters, they will all be in here. The organization of the whole thing is kind of it's interesting. It's not here you're seeing all the templates that I've been building here for the Castles and Crusades. Down below you can see all the stuff that we have here for Shadow and the Stars, and for Castles and Crusades I put it all into its own little CNC area here. So it's letting you know how many sheets you have for Castles and Crusades, how many sheets you have going on for Shadow and the Stars here, which is all of our traveler characters. So all the way down here. So I have some NPCs here as well, NPC templates. So I'll open up an NPC template so you can take a look at it. This is a traveler NPC template that I made. Fairly simple, but this is what the player normally sees. So you can go ahead and add an image in here. How it adds images is pretty interesting. You have to upload an image from a source. So what I do is I go into Discord and I go ahead and have my own Discord server for just putting in pictures. And let's do this. Let's go ahead and add an image. It tells you to add an image URL. So you see it doesn't hold the image on the site. It has to pull it from a site. So make sure whatever site you're grabbing it from, is something that it's always going to grab. So here, let me just grab this, copy a link from one of my Discord things. You're going to love this. There we go. And there you are. So it puts that inside the character sheet. So I am an NPC. And
looks like a mugshot.
That's right. The players can go ahead and do what they want here, and uh, this is a pirate. There we go. So I didn't want to annoy you with my clicky clacky on the keyboard. I have a very clicky clacky keyboard.
Oh, trust me, we got a few of those around the house there. It just
So you can add stuff into here. Pirate is a real doofus. There we go.
could have fooled me.
I'm using my voice thingy to add. Let's and you can give the NPC a name. Do this. Slick Rick from Cash Crick.
Just use the keyboard, man.
Slick Rick from Cash Crick.
And it doesn't want to work for you, man.
It doesn't want to work for me. It's on strike.
It's
Anyways,
on strike.
let me get rid of that. Sometimes the Windows app is a little quirky. So in here you can set the dice for each of these. In here it's already set for D6s. So you can for 2 D6s right here. So whenever you select something, it's going to go ahead and start selecting all of these things. So you have to hit the reset in order to get it set up properly. So if you hit it once, hit it twice, you've got yourself 2d6 in there, and then you go select, and then it's got it in there. So when you go ahead and roll,
do you have to do that for every one of them?
Well, I'm going to show you you're only seeing the player side of this here. So that's the thing. That's the thing. You only see, you're not seeing all the bells and whistles.
I'm only one-sided in this instance.
Right. So let's say that we'll go ahead and take a look in behind the scenes of what's happening here. So what you have up here is a couple of things called advanced and wide. So if you wanted to widen out your sheet, you can do that. I usually keep them small because not everybody has a super wide monitor. And and this is wide enough to make yourself a cool sheet if you wanted to. You can also change the color in here as well too, so you can do like a green or whatever color you want of a character sheet. So that works as well. And I'll put Slick Rick as the character name. There we go. And now remember, you have to save it every time. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the save so it saves it. Because if you exit out of here without saving it, you're going to end up erasing your sheet.
Start all over again.
Start all over again. So now let's go see the bells and whistles in behind here. This is like Wizard of Oz stuff. You're going to see behind the magic curtain. So we hit the advanced, and suddenly you're looking at this sheet as kind of like a CSS kind of thing. All those, stats are now kind of displayed with widths and whether or not they have a toggle. You can modify what these are now. Where if you had I'll go back to here. If you had it in advanced mode, you're not able to edit any of these things as far as a player goes. Okay. So all this kind of simple thing right here, as you're seeing right there, once we hit the advance, you can see it explodes it out. So when you're editing, it's you have to go back into advanced and get out of advanced, kind of see how you've changed it. So it kind of gives kind of like a not an accurate look of what your sheet is, because it's giving you all these extra things like little help gestures underneath here and stuff like that. So let's say go back into, we got comments already. Hey, okay. No, it's just my Streambot. Streambot, shut up. So you're confusing me. So you're seeing, like, on this career and everything, you're seeing this big blank space over here. Well, of course, when you go ahead and switch it back, it's letting you have enough room so you can type as much stuff as you want, and it just keeps on going. Sorry about that. But that's the cool thing is now you can go into advanced and you can see it basically filled up that gray area with all this typing. If you type in a help little thing, a grab image from URL. I'm typing around my big monster mug here. And then you go back into out of advanced mode. You can see it says grab image URL right there as well. So whenever you want to type in something that kind of gestures, use this for your whatever attack, use this for blah blah. You can put in those kinds of things in the description. And you can do that with the strength and everything. Use this for rolling your strength checks or whatever. Like I say, once you got it programmed, it'll go ahead and type. Now, this is on a pop up mode because we're not actually in the play app. So when you start up your session, it goes into a totally different mode, which you start interacting, and there'll be a little chat thing on the side here that brings up all your roles and everything, and it keeps them up. It doesn't make them disappear like it just did. So the only reason why it's reappearing is because I put my cursor over top of this dice symbol here. So the dice symbol will allow you to roll any kind of dice that you want. Once again, same sort of thing. If we want to roll 3d6, we go like that, and we hit the roll, and boom, it gives you the highest, lowest, the total, and all the information that you need. Especially if you're doing something like you want to do stuff like, I guess, advantage, disadvantage, that sort of thing. It'll let you know.
That's for the people that don't play theater of the mind.
Uh, well, I mean, you still do that. We can also do that in Traveler. It's included with the mongoose rules using advantage and disadvantage.
Yeah.
But I never really use it that much because when we play Traveler, I'm using the I'm basically saying, if it's a standard roll, it's 2D, it's a 6 or higher. If it's normal challenge, then it's going to be an 8 or higher,
Well,
and
you also base it off the attributes of the player as well.
it depends on the mechanics of your rules. So
Exactly.
you playing all kinds of different rules with this. You're going to be building sheets for all kinds of stuff. So once again, let's kind of get out of here, and we'll go to the character sheets, and we'll make a new character sheet just so we can kind of see how you build a new character sheet. And we'll go yes, okay. We're not saving that because we're building something new here. What kind of character sheet are we gonna make? Just a jokey one. So you have your character. This is gonna be your main character. We'll add a section in here. We'll call this your attributes. Attributes. Then you can go ahead and add a block. It gives you a number of different things that you can put in here. You can. I'll show you what each one of them does. So let's put in a text. The text block goes all the way across here, but you can also reduce the width here. So I believe 33 is the smallest you can get, and then it goes back to huge size again. You can add a toggle. That'll put that little circle here that you can toggle on and off. You can remove a field. You can remove a label if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. If you remove the label, then you get rid of the main text block there. So you can type in whatever. So you can type it back in text if you wanted to, or you can put in your whatever you want to call it. So now you can duplicate this. So I've made a text. I've got this thing. So if I want to duplicate it, it makes an exact copy of it down below. Easy. Say that we want to make these smaller, width 50, and I want to have 2 of them put together. Boom. It instantly pops it into the spot where it's vacant. So now when you go ahead and hit that advance, now we have a text and a text, each with a little on-off toggle on the side. And the on-off toggle can be for anything. It could be used to denote something that you are super skilled in or something, or like in Castles and Crusades, if you want to denote which is your primary skills, primary attributes, you can use this. Easy. Boom. Just go ahead and denote which one's your primary. And away you go. Now let's go back into advanced mode again, because that's where we edit everything. There's also a bunch of templates in here too. You can also use the Blade Runner template. I think there's a D&D one in here. Let's see. There's all kinds of stuff there, but there isn't a Traveler one, so I had to make it. And there's no Castles and Crusades. They actually have a Cipher one in here as well, which is cool. So they have a lot of templates that you can choose from, and let's say, for example, let's just grab one. Let's grab something we're familiar with we will grab Cipher template. Okay, yeah, it's giving me a warning saying, "Hey, are you sure about this? You didn't save." So here you have the Cipher template. So I am a blah 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 who blah blah blahs with a blah.
Well, I would imagine that if you grab a template like that, you can maneuver it around to make it sort of like a
now you can
stage type in your
you can edit it yourself. So you go into advanced mode and you can start editing stuff around and start goofing around with it and stuff. You can add more sections in here, add another block in here. Let's just put it in an image in there. And then once you got that done, you can go ahead and switch it back into regular mode, and you'll see you got that, add image in there. And once again, you can do the paste thing, and there you go. Wee-hee! I'm in there once again. Me and my ugly mug. And
so with your stats, you can probably switch it around. Like, how do you get like the 0/0 or the edge?
Oh yeah,
stuff like that. Like you go in there and you can switch those all out.
Yeah, I can show you how that's all done as well. There's also these are also like tabs, like different pages. So you have the character, you have abilities and attacks, so it gives you a totally new sheet on the side. Your ciphers and gear. This one is difficulties. So it gives you what to roll under This is cool because it presets all your difficulty rolls. If you're told it's going to be a difficult roll, go ahead and roll, and there you go. And you can have the add modifiers to it if you really want to, but it's entirely up to you. This I guess it's just saying whether or not you actually made the difficulty or not. It's entirely how you want to make it. Now, you can just do one that just does the die rolls, and it says you're using a difficult roll or you're using a challenging roll. Because when you do it, it's saying the challenging here. It's indicating what the difficulty is here as well. So difficult, saying difficult here. Demanding, so it's saying demanding here as well. So you can see that. So it gives you that visual cue on what exactly the person is rolling and what their actual result is. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, keep in mind you can make these little extra pages too. So you don't have to have everything all on one whole page that you scroll down on. You can divide it up into different sections, which makes it easier.
Yeah, it makes it easier to let you know on what you're actually using.
So let's once again go back to making a brand new sheet again. And let's go to my binder, characters, make a new one once again. Oh, we don't have to. We can go in and just grab the one that is untitled, which is the one that we had started working with here. So with this one character here, okay, so we add a section, we'll add a block. Next we go in, so we did text, okay, so that's text. We'll add a block. This one's the info text. This is just going to basically give you a line of text that you can add in there. You can use it for filler or whatever.
So basically explaining what's involved with that text.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, it's easy to do. Add a block numeric. Numeric is very important because once again you can do the have
your
like
attributes.
yeah, I mean you could do it that way. You can do it as an attribute. You can do it as points or whatever.
Well, that would be good for like dice rolls and stuff like that when you need to do your rolls for.
There's a better way to do dice rolls, and I'm going to show you here. And I'll add a block. Now this is the image. I'm going to go through them all. So numeric is what we did here. The image block. Once again, you hit the add the image, and you go ahead. We're not going to do that. It just leaves a blank here. You can put once again. Each of these has a little help thing that you put in, except for this one, which is the which was the info block. Let's add another block. This one, now we get into useful ones. Skill block. So this is very handy if you want to say you're going to do like an attribute roll kind of thing or a skill roll. So you designate what the dice are going to be. So as you can see, it didn't roll anything when I clicked that. It just says skill because it hasn't been assigned any dice yet. So let's go ahead and assign it some dice, and we'll go ahead set dice. We'll do a 1d20. We'll select that, and whatever you put in here for the skill, you can do a -4, and then when you roll that, it'll tell you it's 5 -4, and it gives you the your what you rolled was a 5 basically. So with the modification. So that's one thing. I mean, you could use this as for your strength. So if this is a strength roll, you could do it like that and have your bonus or strength bonus or strength. So mod. So your strength modifier. So he's very weak, a -4, and then you roll and then you get the result. It's kind of weird to kind of look at it this way because you're not looking at it in the actual app mode when you're in play mode. So, but we'll get into that later. We're just giving an example of each of these and how they work. We'll add the next block, which is dice pool. I haven't fooled around too much with the dice pool, but it's basically you go ahead and you can set the dice. Let's go 3d6, select. There we go. So we have a 3d6 dice pool. So if you're rolling stats, away you go. So kind of idea if you wanted to do that. I mean, you can always hit this little corner thing and then roll the 3d6 that way as well. And hit roll. But every time you do that, it erases the last.
So it's easier just to set up a dice pool.
Yeah, make it dice pool one is bing, 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 and you're rolling up a character. Next block is the point counter. Okay, so this is where you get into the hit points. Now you can set that as a main counter. So if you do that, remove it as a main counter. You can also add a max. So you have a what out of what. So your maximum would be like out of 10, Hit points. You have 10 hit points. You're currently 10 out of 10 hit points. You get wounded, and you can go ahead and do the minus thing if you want, or you can go ahead and actually type in 2 or whatever you want, right? So this is your hit point counter if you wanted to use it as such. Or you can use it for ammo too if you want, but there is kind of a cool thing that you can add in here, this block, which is the slot tracker. The slot tracker uh, will allow you to add slots. So you've got ammo, we got your arrows. So every time you use your arrows, you mark them off or whatever, or you can fill them if you want to do it that way. These are all my arrows; they're all filled, and then you deplete your arrows as you.
Oh, that's
use
crazy.
them.
That's
Right?
cool.
Okay, and you can rename that to we'll call it
Arrow
arrows.
quiver.
Arrows.
There you go.
There you go. You know, fairly simple. So you see all these simple little things that you can put together. Now you can move these around. You can go ahead and correct the widths and do stuff like that. See, you can reduce it. It'll still keep all the little slots there for you. But, it's entirely up to you how you want to do that. You know, and once again, this big long thing. Once we go ahead and hit the back to normal, it's very small. So it decompresses everything so you can edit, and then once you're done, it recompresses it back so you have basically the player view without all the bells and whistles in behind it. So cool, eh?
That is cool.
So let's go into my binder. We're not going to go ahead and save that. That is cool. Let's go into the Castles and Crusades. We'll just go ahead and grab one of these here. And this is my Castles and Crusades sheet. So you can see I gave it a different color in the background and stuff.
More of a vanilla.
So once again, it's easy. Yeah, easy to fill in everything. You have your dice rolls. I go ahead and put all the dice rolls on the first sheet. That's going to be super important for you to use.
Right.
So this way you do all your rolls here, or any kind of stuff here. Abilities and spells, you don't usually have a roll associated to them, but you can do that. You can put we'll go to that tab, and now you're seeing, the spell name. You can put in the spell description, all that stuff, all the important stuff that you need to know without having to open up a book. It can be all put in here, and you can display whether or not you use the spell or not. Or this could be, I'm preparing my spells. All my spells are prepared now. But when I use it, boop, it's gone. If you want to do
like a per day type thing.
For sure, usually. For sure. Yeah, whatever, however way we're doing it, mana per day, whatever it is that we're doing. Putting in your racial abilities. Now you can type, you can type forever, and let's do this. And you can keep on going, type. And it'll just keep on going. As it'll fill up as you keep on, adding stuff, and you don't need to put like multiple little sections in there. I mean, you could put like a little asterisk in there or something like that to separate things if you wish, that sort of thing. It's entirely up to you. It's all text editable.
It does make it easier anyway.
And then you can add more of these too. You just have to go into advanced mode. Let's go into the inventory and notes. So here we have where you add your image, your goals, your needs, your little background, and then your inventory. So I ended up putting the little star, which I use in my name here. So you can use symbols in this. So it does, if you go to, what's the utility I use for that all the time? It's called font generator. So if you go to the font generator, you can go ahead and bring up all these cool like stars, different symbols and stuff that you don't normally see, and you can copy and paste them in here. So here I've got the inventory, and I can go ahead and start typing in my what I have for my inventory. Each star separates it out, saying that it's an item basically. So I can put my armor in here and blah blah blah.
Nice and
My
organized.
sword, whatever, however you want to, designate it, away you go. Once you have them in here, yeah, you can go into the advanced mode and you can swap them around if you want. You can take sword. We'll put sword in there. We'll put armor in there. We'll put backpack back. Here we go. Okay, so now when we go into the regular mode, you have these here. Now they're not going to move around. You can't move them back and forth. You can edit these, of course, but as a player side, you can do that. But in here, you can go ahead and move things up and down. So now your sword is going to be on the bottom. Let's bring the backpack we'll bring the backpack to the top. What are we doing here? Up. Oh, up, please.
You're going down.
Yeah, it's making it go down. Let's make it go up. It's making the section go down. I think I hit a flaw on this one.
We got this.
We got this. We got this. Okay, so you see your backpack's way down, but you can move it around inside there. So there we go. Basic, interesting stuff. And we go into the advanced mode. You can see how I did the sheet. We're going back to the just so you can see what it looks like again. All this stuff here on your first page. We'll go into the advanced mode, and you can see how it's been separated out into separate blocks. Block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, all the way across. And we added another row with some columns in it. This time 2 columns. Instead of having 1 column, you can do 2 columns. If you really wanted to, you can add columns over here. You can add another page if you want over here. So these are the pages, which is the inventory notes, abilities, and spells. You can add another page, and we can call it whatever you want. We can call it blah blah. There we go. So we have a page called blah blah, and then you can go ahead and add a note. You add a section. You add another section in here. You add blocks.
So you can start with the notes, and then you can just go to blah blah and keep adding.
What you can make these however way you want, and then once you get into out of the advanced mode, you can see how it's constructed. Each thing you can even rename these sections if you wish. All that kind of stuff. So, yeah, building a sheet is fairly. You can experiment around, move stuff around, see how it works, and eventually you get yourself a sheet that you like. And away
in this instance, he has played around with this app for a while, so pretty good at what he's making for character sheets.
So we can go back to the binder, go back to characters. Let's just grab a regular template here. Go, I don't want to save that, what I just did. And once again, we're back to a clean sheet. Once again, you can also export these. They export as a JSON file, which is used by Python. And once you export it, you have your own save of this template. And you can name the template whatever you want, and it's on your computer, and you can hold it there if you want to go ahead, and you don't have to worry about what happens with Fari.app or anything. You can do an update or whatever, and you don't have. I haven't had any issues with Fari at all. I've kept everything on Fari, and it stays on there forever. So no problems there. You can also so export as template. This is where you go into the theme editor. So this is where you change the background color. You can change it to any color you want, and it updates in real time. So this one, I have it way up in the corner of the, so you're getting a kind of a not so dark of a color, but you can get dark if you really wanted to, like so. But
Yeah, but there goes the creativity there. If you
yeah,
just
you
choose
can,
black all the time, it just defeats the creativity.
yeah, it's however you want to do it. There we go. You can change the fonts, sections, labels for each of the areas. If you want to have custom fonts, you can do that. I believe it probably uses stuff from the like you can change the font family here. I think it uses the Google font families, so you can probably change it from your Google Doc fonts if you'd like. But I just leave it as is because it looks fine. The sheet looks fine.
It looks clear. It looks professional. It looks like an actual
Yeah,
character sheet.
gives you everything: your hit points, your BAB, which is your basic to hit kind of thing, um, which includes your dex bonus. I put the little help things in the bottom here, so it tells you what exactly it's pulling it from. So it doesn't do this automatically. You have to like do the math and correct it and all that kind of stuff. So it's entirely up to you how you want to do this. Um, and then I put the rolls over here so that when you go ahead and do uh, say your strength is 12, and so your roll will be a 1. I mean, you could do +1 if you really wanted to, just to make it kind of official. And there you go. So now when you roll the die, it'll be a 19 plus 1. So it tells you that your roll here is 20. Pretty simple, eh?
Can't get any
So
better than that.
there we go. So, you're going to have to go ahead and adjust these, yourself. I put these here to denote whether or not it's a primary or not. So it's, however you want to do it, primary or secondary. We'll do it that way. I don't have any, I could go ahead and put like a bunch of dashes in here and say primary on the very end, and then a bunch of dashes on the help, the little help thing. So if we went ahead and went to advanced,
Wouldn't that
and
look a little sloppy though if you did it that way?
if we go like this, okay, so we go put a bunch of spaces in there, and we say primary, okay. Now we go ahead and close it so you can see where that primary is. So we go hit that. So now it says primary. I should put a few more spaces in there. The only way you can modify is by going back into advanced and then start adding some more spaces there. Be pretty darn close. But once you have the template figured out, like where this is going to sit, because I can add some more spaces into it until that primary goes right underneath that thing, the toggle. Once you got one set up, then you can go in there and you can you can basically duplicate it once you have it set up. Down, down, down. Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. So you have the duplicate block, you have the copy block, and you have a delete block. So works like that. So right now, I'm just going to get rid of that because we don't. I'll work on that later to make it more efficient later. And yeah, you can continuously edit these, even though you have information in them. You still add more things to it. If you're like, well, we really need an insanity, stat in here as well. So then you can go ahead and put that in, and away you go. Now you notice that these stats here on this side and the rolls are, the rolls here are a little bit longer, so it comes down a little bit more. Don't worry about that. Once you see your sheet lines up, it corrects itself. So all that extra information just kind of disappears. So don't worry about how your sheet is lining up until you switch off that
Again,
advanced mode.
basically, it's all in the advanced that
Yeah.
sort of throws everything out. So
the advanced mode is basically your edit mode.
Yeah.
Basically, right? So, let's go into the scenes. Here we go. Yeah, let's go into which scene should we go here? Oh, let's go into the file system. Boom. So this is what you would see as a game master. So you have all your stuff here. You have which is marked as private or unprivate. So if you want to private it, you make it all disappear, right? Or you can make it seen. So it's entirely up to you. And then everything in private is on the private tab. So you have notes, private, public. So only the map is being shown as public. There we go. We can kind of show this is coming from a URL once again on Discord. So I have my own Discord, like my own private Discord that I upload images and do this. If you don't have Nitro on Discord, you're going to be limited in something like 2 megabytes. So you might want to think about paying the whatever it is, the extra $5 to do the Nitro thing, and then that way you get unlimited. You can put big maps in your Discord, and then call them up through this Fari app, which makes it kind of nice and convenient. And then whenever you go ahead and do change something from private to public, we take Zora here. Now you'll see in the public side, you can see Zora and her battle tender, basically a tender ship for that's floating above the gas giant, which you guys seen before. So you're able to show this stuff in the file system, and this starts collecting up as you go through the game, and it's presentable to the players, and the players can go ahead and click on stuff and take a good look at it if they want to. So it's all there. So you have your private, which is the stuff that you hide from your players until they bump into it. So I can put monsters and stuff like that in here, and then just pop them in there when you want to have them presented to the players in view. So it's cool that way. You can also, let's see, card collections. This is kind of neat. You can make your own card collections, import them. I'm not going to get into that because I haven't goofed around with it too much. I had no need to yet. I might be doing that when it comes to Cypher, if we ever do some Cypher through this. And then, import all my cards. That would be pretty neat. Then I don't have to go ahead and grab my box of cards and start flipping through them. But I do like to have the tactile, having a card in my hand and looking at it and showing you guys that I am looking at a card.
Then you get the weird look like this is going to happen.
Something's happening, guys.
Yeah, something's going to happen here.
So, I mean, I like to have, real dice on hand and roll them instead, that sort of thing. I have my little camera up here on top here that points down at where I'm rolling and stuff like that. So I just add that in, through StreamYard.
I'm working on something similar to that too, because me as well, I like to roll the dice.
Yeah.
Not as much as D&D players, but I do like to roll.
So yeah, you can organize scenes and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and make a scene. Let's do a new scene. And I am going to go ahead and add copy link. So this doesn't have anything. So let's make a card. So this is kind of like index cards. So let's make a card. This is an index card, and now you can go ahead with this index card. You can add a block, and in this case, it's going to be an image block because I'm going to grab an image. So let's add an image and put it in there. Paste, and say it's there. It's closed. There we go. We have a map of Retham, which is the empire you guys are going to be basically starting in Castles and Crusades.
Oh, that's a cool little map, eh?
So there you go. So now you can see the map, and I mean it's not very super detailed. Like you can go ahead and increase, your browser to see it a little bit closer and stuff like that.
You basically just use it for a guide, essentially.
Yeah, I would use it to like show little parts of the map to blow them up. It might work a lot easier.
You don't want to blow out the whole thing there.
So instead of calling this index card, you can call this Retham. You want, or you can type it in.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Now this is where you can get into changing the fonts and stuff like that. So remember that you had that little area where you can change the fonts. Yeah. So you can do that in here. You can give it some good fonts that kind of go with the theme of your game if you want. So it's cool. And then we can also add another thing in here. We can add some info text or text. So now we start adding text. We do a little blurb. This is the world that you come from, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Or whatever.
Right.
Easy. You can, once again, you can go ahead and hide the card. Now, when you go into the scene, well, we're going to call this scene opening scene. So now you have an opening scene.
So you can save it. Starting point.
Oh, you can put it in group 2. So we're going to call this C and C. Okay, so now we're part of the C and C group. Now we save it. There. Voila! So now when you go into your binder, you'll see the scenes, and you will see that there is...
Right up at the top, opening scene.
Opening scene. There we go. And once you add more opening, like different things for your group, then you're going to have more.
Oh,
you'll have your own grouping of C and C.
Oh, basically what you can have is you can have all the characters and then the map and all that kind of stuff, just to sort of give an opening to what's gonna take place.
That's right. So there you go. So nobody has to ask any questions. Where are we? Right. Yeah. There you go. This is the what you know about the world kind of idea or whatever. You guys will probably not know very much about like this. I'll give you a generalization in the in our Discord to kind of give you an at grips view of what has happened in your area as far as kind of like a bit of history, but not a whole lot. It'll be pretty general, like as if a peasant knew what he needs to know about the general area. Yeah, we're under the Earl of this, and our manor lord is this name. And he is the name of his guards are called the Black Watch, and then the town mayor is named this. Just the basic rudimentaries of what the peasants would know, who you talk up to, basically, who you follow, and that sort of stuff. Pretty simple, easy stuff. And then you can hide the rest of it in your private area and add more notes. As players discover stuff, you can have it all set up here, and you can add more notes to kind of, give them more information, as you go along, if you wanted to do it that way. It kind of helps to kind of have that there so that when the players come back into the game, they can look at each part in the scenes and say, okay, yeah, we know this guy. We can remember that name, who we're following, and what was that thing that we're, oh yeah, this was the area that we're in. And this is what we're doing. It makes it a little bit easier that way if you wanted to use it that
If you
way.
really wanted to as well,
Yeah.
you could probably throw it down in your notes in your character sheet, or have a piece of paper like what I usually have and just keep track of it as we go along.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, you could do it either way. You can have your own, piece of paper which has all the information on it, and
Yeah.
and work from there if you wanted your own notebook. For example,
Oh,
here, your own notebook of stuff that you can go ahead and start writing stuff down. And
well, when you start being players for different games and you got different attributes and where you need to leave off, you kind of want to
you
leave
want to remember
yourself.
remember all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
all right. So now that we've got Fari.app kind of, you know what you get to put together something to get it going. Now you go hit the start playing now. So you can go in here, start working on stuff in your binder and start working on it. There's a tools thing so you can manage your data, dice, story builder, story dice, consult the oracle. There's all kinds of different tools in here that you can use. Resources. This will tell you stuff about the app itself. And this here is the changing of the language. Use a theme from your system preferences if you want to. Toggle light or dark theme if you wanted to do that. See, there you go. And it'll tell you what's new. It'll give you a rundown of all the features that they've been adding to it. You can also become part of the Patreon as well if you want to, and pay them a little money or whatever just to say thank you for providing a cool little app. And I do highly recommend that. So let's hit the start playing now. Boom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the session link. I copied the session link, and I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Spencer. Go into our little area here. Pasty, pasty. There you go. It's in general for you. We heard that.
Yeah, my phone is right beside me, so everything I get in Discord pops up on my phone as well.
So now, as a game master, you're seeing my game master end here. So let's go ahead and we can go ahead and bring in, we'll load a scene. We'll say the opening scene. There we go. All righty. So Spencer,
Yeah,
go ahead
just
and pop yourself in. The game master, you can go ahead and make yourself something. Well, we have Steve.
type.
So over here, you can see where Spencer is moving his cursor. So I see that cursor running around. I know some people find this a little weird because sometimes they'll be looking at different things than what the game master is, and they'll be moving their cursor around. And as a game master, you won't be actually seeing what it is they're pointing at, because you may have this map of Retham scrolled up or something like that, or scrolled
Yeah.
down. You're looking at something else, right? But as I'm scrolling up and down, it's not happening on your screens. You're seeing something totally different. You're just seeing kind of a blank, basically. So there's a player side here, and there's a chat side. So the chat side will have all the die rolls going on. So do switch over as a game master to the chat mode so you can see what the roles are. So let's go back into here. We'll assign Spencer a sheet. So I'm going to assign him this template for Castles and Crusades. So now he will be able to see his character sheet up here. So I have a copy of it as well. So as you get more players here, you're going to see more options up here. It'll start going right across here. It'll give you all your player character sheets that you can go click, click, click. And I think you can probably see that in one of my live plays, where I'm kind of looking at the through the Fari.app through the game master's eyes. So if you want more information on that, just watch one of our latest live plays. So if Spencer goes ahead, and what I'll do is I'll hit the chat. Spencer, go ahead and make a strength roll on your sheet, please.
Strength roll.
Yep. And there you go. He rolled a d20. It told you what the result is. So it's really easy. Now let's say we go ahead and add a +2 to your strength roll. Okay. So now make your strength roll. And now you can see that it has, modified it as well. It's not telling me that it has added the +2 on there. So let's see if I'll do let's see, plus. Okay. Now do it again. There you go. It's giving the +2 on there. So it's telling you it's got the +2. So you're seeing the modification being done.
Okay, I'm seeing it from both sides here. You got your edit sheet over there, and then I got nothing on my end here.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let's go and to the advanced. You can see that and you can edit the sheet as you go along here too. Everybody's sheet can be entirely different if you wanted. It's up to you.
Yeah.
So, here we go. I'll do the +2 on that. There you go. And that should come up properly on your sheet as well. So it's better to go ahead and do all your edits later on, when the players aren't in, and then you have your sheet done. Because once you get out of the sheet, you have to save everything. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, it won't save to your sheet. Always save your sheet. So this gives you, the rundown of how this looks in here. Your scenes. You can also draw. So if I wanted to, I could draw with a whatever I want. You can. I could have this actually on my tablet, like down below. I have one of them kind of Wacom kind of tablets where you can use a little pen to draw or write with, and you could draw whatever it is that you want. We don't use it because it's kind of redundant. We're doing everything kind of theater of the mind with a few images for taste. I might have an image of an NPC, so I don't have to go ahead and describe intricately how they look. It saves a lot of time that way. So, and that's a key thing. Doing stuff to save you time is the main thing. I want to. I'm getting old, and every minute, every hour, every day is like a bonus to me. So for me to spend it frivolously with a bunch of chatter going on and stuff, and we're not actually playing the game, um, that's the reason why I want to kind of break stuff down so that we're when we do play role playing games, we're playing the role playing game, and we're in the moment with the role playing.
We're not having a conversation about a certain topic in the game that takes us
Yeah, or going,
forever to
somebody's talking about what they did at work or whatever, which it's fine after the session, and we'll also include a little bit of that with our gameplay. We'll stop the session, and then we'll sit back and go, "Whoa, what you guys think about that session?" And yak and talk, and you can talk about work or whatever as well, or whatever topics that pop up as we go along. But the thing is, with role playing, you want to stay, keep your head in the game, and have a good time being in the moment, being that person.
after all, it is a game that we are playing.
Exactly.
So if you want to stop the game and talk, then we'll just
We can
stop the
do
game.
like an intermission kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a little 5-minute intermission, and everybody
Yeah,
goes
but
for a
that's
pee break or
honestly,
whatever.
for how long we play, there shouldn't be an intermission. If you want to play like all afternoon, like some people I know, that starts at noon and goes until like 9-10 o'clock at
Yeah.
night. No, like you want to have an intermission there, sure, why not? But with gameplay, especially online, that only takes about 90 to 120 minutes. Why not just play right through.
Play right through, and then at
You
the
know,
end,
you,
you know, do
you're
your
sitting there, you're playing your game, you're in your character, you're in the zone. Like, why do you want to like differ in a different direction?
yeah. So that's basically what I wanted to show is this Fari app and what it's capable of doing, and showing kind of the basics of how you make a character sheet and stuff like that, and what you can do with it. So there's not really much information out there. Like, you'll find a few people out there yakking about it, but it's only just a few channels. So and when I found this, I was just like, wow, this is so cool. You could do all kinds of things with it, and modify it to your own means. Like, if you had your own mechanics and your own system that you wanted to go ahead and make and develop and test with some other players, you can do this here, and it's free. You're not paying anything unless you want to go ahead and do the Patreon thing and give the guy a few bucks for saying, hey, that's want to support you somehow, and tell you you're doing an awesome job with this. I mean, he doesn't have to go ahead and host this. This is pretty cool, I think. For what this guy has done. I'm not a fan of Fate. Let's put it out there. I don't like Evil Hat Productions. They are they're kind of mean. I don't want anything to do with like the Evil Hat production guys, but this is cool, and I think whoever's doing this has done a really good job. And then for them to open it up from just playing D6s to actually playing Dungeons and Dragons on it, or Traveler on it, like we do, or Castles and Crusades, like we are about to do. This is so cool. So I just go in here, make my sheets, make them however I want, and boom, we're ready to roll, and we can start playing. So if
Easy enough.
yeah, I think that's about all I want to really yak about it, because we're getting to the 1 hour, and we're at that 1 hour mark. I just want to say, thanks, Spencer, for popping in here and demonstrating from the player end
My pleasure.
what's going on. And I mean, it's a cool little app, and lots of potential. Hope the guy works on it more and more, and develops it more. Maybe to get the, like maybe some sort of scripting language, so that you can take this modifier and have it put towards the BAB or something like that, like to continuously modify further blocks as it goes down. That would be cool if you could do that. That way you don't, then it auto populates your bonuses and stuff like that. That would be super awesome. But
you could be able to send your character sheet to him and be like, "This is a Castles and Crusades I created."
Yes, you can do that. You can definitely go ahead and upload it as a template for him, and then it's there
you got it there.
Yeah. So it's or just do your own thing. It's there for you to have fun with. So yeah, cool beans. I think that's pretty much it. That's all we're gonna go ahead and show you today. So we didn't have anybody coming in because everybody's over on Max's stream right now, and all the people that normally come over here are busy watching other streams. But I thought this was kind of cool to go ahead and show this off, and have a good thing. So,
well, we already know that this is a cool group, so
there we go. Yeah. So next Wednesday we are going to be playing Castles and Crusades in
we'll have the crew back.
We'll have the crew back, and hopefully maybe a few more members will join us as well. Seeing that we're doing a kind of more of a fantasy world kind of thing, which tends to go over a little bit more better than sci-fi sometimes. But yeah, I'd say that's about it. And we'll get to the usual.
Hey, since you made it this far to the video at the end, you may as well hit that subscribe button. Because it's free. Honest, it's free. Just go ahead and hit it. I'm learning stuff. You're learning stuff. We all learn together. Subscribe. Just do it.